There we go. I couldn't figure out to get it to lower for a second. Okay. Hi. Yeah, we're back again. So I can't math. Not that I think anybody here is surprised. But last night I realized that I thought I only had 2 more to do. I thought I only had 2 more that I needed to get done to get me through the week after my wedding. And I was wrong. I have 3, which that's fine. You know, it's whatever. So there will be, because I have this one that we're going to do today, which is Mom Monday. Then we have a Whatever Wednesday, and I believe that's going to be an Am I the Asshole? Because we love those, and I do have some built up that some of my bestest friends have sent in for me to read. So that's definitely going to be ones that come out, and I believe that this will come out right after you guys leave, or it'll come out the day you guys leave. And then we're gonna have another Fright Friday to do, and that way that whole week afterwards I'll be good. And yeah, I should probably get in 2 more for after that, but I don't want to overwork myself. I've only got a little bit of time, so we're just gonna kind of roll with what we can do and not worry about a whole lot else. As usual, I am telling you guys ahead of time that you know, these are usually much more these are recorded much more further out than what I usually do, because usually I just do Monday and Tuesdays for the following week, and the Fridays for like this week. So like if it was this week on like a Monday, I would do a Friday episode, and then if it was you know, like Tuesday and Wednesday, I try to do on Monday and Tuesdays for the following week. And then that way it just kind of keeps me ahead. It keeps me nice and rotating, but getting so far ahead is a little hard and a little frustrating, but we're doing it. We're checking through. I will tell you guys that when I come back from this little mini vacation and we are back to my regular recording schedule, there will be something different about me. Whoever can guess it in the comments will get a cookie. We'll see. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and dang it, I talked too long, my phone went to sleep. But we're gonna go ahead, roll right into this, get started with the Mom Monday. I'm sure we've got plenty of stupid ass questions and rants and dumb things that other women have said that we're just gonna sit here and be like, why? Why is this a thing? Why is this a question? We've got our support gnome pillow. He is right side up. We're gonna adjust one last time. Oof. Oh God. Apparently I'm adjusting too much. Yeah, and we're gonna get started here with our intro. Hey everyone! Welcome to another episode of Phoenix Reads. Today is Mom Monday, and we'll be doing a series of questions and rants from an anonymous Facebook mom page. As usual, there won't be any usernames, as this page is all anonymous and public. If you have a parental question or rant you'd like my opinion on, feel free to contact me via any of my social media in the description. You will always remain anonymous unless you tell me otherwise. I'll see y'all right after our ad. Aight. Nope, that's the wrong one. Wow, I can never remember which song goes to what. You'd think after all this time I would, but well, then I guess we'd both be wrong. And I actually remember what number we're on today. That's a great way to start off a Thursday. I hope. Insert my ad. All right. Why do I feel a little bit more tangled up than I usually do? Get out of there. Come on. Shoot. I feel so more like, I don't know, I felt like I had everything like really like well and set yesterday, and now it's like I can't remember fucking shit for anything. All right, I think I'm a little bit too loud here. How's that? Da, 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 da. A little bit more. Da, 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 da. Okay, that works. Why do I still feel? How's that? Nope. Maybe a little bit. All right. All right, I think I'm good. All right, welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and roll right into this. We've got quite a few today. Let's see how many we can get through. All right, on to the first question. Is it wrong that my boyfriend sleeps next to his daughter in his boxers? So, before we even get started, my thing on this is if it's not sexual, don't make it sexual. I think if you understand that, you can grasp this concept a little bit better than some others. Like, there are just some things that happen with kids that can go either way, but it's the intent that's there is honestly what matters. And again, I'm not saying that it's right, I'm not saying that it's wrong, I'm saying that it's the intent that matters, and just because you look at it as something dirty, as something bad, like there are, like, to put it into perspective, there are people, full-grown adults, that have children that do not think it's okay for a dad to give his daughter a bath when nothing is going wrong, is going down. It's just a dad doing a parental duty, giving his kid a bath. But they're okay with mom giving a son a bath. Like, moms haven't done anything that they shouldn't to their children in general. So, I just want everyone to keep that in mind. We're open to healthy, positive, respectful discussions on this. I'm very serious about that. We're not going to sit here and we're not going to throw that big old P word around when it's not needed. But let's see what the situation is. Let's see if we even have enough information to make a decision one way or another on this. I like to be anonymous, but this guy I'm dating for a year makes me feel uncomfortable when his child comes by to stay a few nights. She is 5, and she sleeps in the bed with him, and he sleeps with just boxers all cuddled up next to her. And when I ask that I feel weird, he gets mad at me and starts telling me to leave the house that I've been paying for also. What should I do? He always takes his outburst out on me when the kid comes by and gets angry. I can't speak nor say anything. I have to sit in silence and not complain. So, this is one of those situations where if you cannot have a full grown-up discussion, like, again, you're coming across, I also don't know the full situation, you're coming across very nice, very polite in your question, but at the same time, what if you're maybe not coming across that way when you actually talk to him? Like, you could come off accusationally. I'm not saying you are, but that could be a thing. Maybe that's why he's yelling. Just trying to speculate every single kind of scenario that could be going on here. My other thing is that you guys have been dating a year. If you can't express any concerns you may have as another adult or anything like that with your partner, that may not be the partner for you. On the other hand, I was willing to give this guy the benefit of the doubt, but the fact that his first go-to when being confronted with being like, hey, like, don't you think it's a little weird that you sleep in your boxers next to your daughter when she stays the night, is to yell at you. I feel like that's coming from a form of guilt somewhere. He's done something, even on purpose or accidentally, that is inappropriate, and instead of just being like, no, you know what, I should at least wear pajama pants or even just pajama shorts, is to yell and get defensive, that usually means something's up. Because, I mean, why get defensive about something if nothing bad is happening in the background behind it? Also, your kid's 5. It's a little old to be sleeping in bed with you. Given my kid, we co-slept for a long time. And I mean a long time. Like, he's 6 now. He's, 6.5. And he slept in our bed a long time. Like, I think when we moved into where we're at now, which is almost 3 years, we were here for his 5th birthday. We started kind of, like, even a little bit before that, we started kind of trying to move him into his own bed, into his own room. But we always started him off in his bed and being like, hey, like, if you get up, if you wake up, because he's had night terrors for a long time. So that was kind of like a big thing for us too, is that it was just easier for us to be right there. But we eventually did it. Like, it took us a while. We slowly moved him over. We tried starting him off in his bed and then being like, if you wake up, you can come into our bed. But then what we did is we were like, well, like, you can start off in our bed, and then once you fall asleep, we'll move you. And that seemed to work really well too. That actually seemed to work better than having him start off in his bed and coming over. But my husband also travels for work, so he's gone from Monday morning till Thursday nights. And during that time, it was like, I was sleeping in a bed all by myself, and so I was just like, yeah, you can stay in bed with me. But then I got to the point where it's like, he took up more room than my husband does when he was home, and I was just like, you know what? I'm like, how about this? You can start off in my bed, and I'll move you after you fall asleep, or you can start off in your bed, and then if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can come over and lay back in my bed. And that worked really well. At first, he would choose, my bed. We would go in there, lay down together, cuddle, watch TV, and then after he fell asleep, and he was, like, asleep where I could move him, if you know, you know, I'd move him over into his bed, and that seemed to work really well. And then he started to choose more and more, like, hey, I'm going to go lay down in my bed and watch TV, and then he would just fall asleep. And now it's been, I think almost a year that we've finally been able to transfer him, I guess, over to sleeping on his own. And I think we've maybe had, like, maybe 2 handfuls of times that he's ended up in our bed for one reason or another, but like I said, if nothing's going on, then you should be open to a healthy discussion. When you respond with screaming and yelling and being defensive, I feel like that means that you know that you're not doing something that's okay, but you're not ready to either give it up or you don't want to be caught, and so you're being overly aggressive to, like, make somebody back off and back away and, like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, okay, like, if you're not doing anything bad, then you shouldn't be defensive about it. That's just my thought about it. Alright. Do I have a right to be annoyed that my neighbors are so loud? I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by loud. Like, my definition of loud could be different from your definition of loud compared to another person's definition of loud, so let's see what goes on. That's annoying. I have lived in my apartment for 5 years. I've had a total of 3 neighbors that lived above me and never had an issue. There's a new family above me, and I don't complain on the kids running around during the day because that's expected. But my issue is that they're up all night running around. I don't start to get upset until it's about 11 at night, and they're still going crazy up there. I believe she has 2 kids. One's probably 5, and the other's 2. It definitely sounds like there's more kids up there. But anyways, am I wrong for getting upset? I have gotten my broom and hit the ceiling before, but this was because the kids were running and jumping at 2 in the morning, and this didn't stop until 4 a.m. that night. I'm 100% aware I live in an apartment and it's bound to happen, but I definitely feel like the kids shouldn't be going crazy past 11. I kind of feel the same way, for one. I think if it's like a normal time that you would expect people to be awake, you kind of need to learn to live with the fact that there's going to be noise. One, I would always make sure that you know what your noise ordinance is for your area. But honestly, like, if it was me and I constantly had people waking me up at, 2 o'clock in the morning, when I wake up every morning at 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'd be like, listen, I'd go up, I'd explain what's going on, be like, listen, I wake up really early, your kids are waking me up, or whoever is up here pouncing around at 2 o'clock in the morning is waking me up every single night. I don't want to complain, I don't want to be that person, but if we can't get something figured out, I'm going to tell our landlord, I'm going to start calling the police to report, a disturbance. Like, the noise ordinance is from this time to this time. Anytime in between there that is reasonable, that you should not be making noise, like, I'm going to start making reports because this is absolutely ridiculous. I am that person. You can call me a Karen, a bitch, or whatever you want, but nobody, for one, should have their children awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not healthy for them. It's not setting a good sleep schedule for them. It's crazy and it's chaos. And I understand some people work really early in the mornings and have situations like that. But when your kids are full on awake for hours past 11 o'clock at night, that's when it's getting to be a little bit much. I do also recognize and realize that there are a lot of kids, and I mean a lot of kids, that will just randomly wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, I have no concept of time. I think it's time to wake up and play. My kid has done that. I have definitely woken up to him watching a YouTube video at 4 in the morning. I'm like, you have school in 4 hours. What the fuck are you doing awake? And it's just like, he just stares at me like, I don't have a concept of time. All I know is that it's still dark outside. But the problem is that it was wintertime, so it's dark till like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and gets dark at like 5. So it was like, I have no concept of time. I've been awake during the dark times before. And yeah, so it's like, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, if it's every single night, it's time to say something. It's time to start making a report. Even if it's just, having the cops swing by, knocking on their door, be like, hey, shut the fuck up. Eventually, something's either going to happen. It's either going to get worse, or your landlord's going to do something. Or you're just going to be driven to madness and have to move out. Those are kind of the only options. My daughter's father will not let her get her nails done. Advice? Well, I mean, like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about, like, a full set, like, acrylics, the gel, all that? Or are we just talking about, like, a little bit of fingernail polish? My daughter's in 5th grade and wants to get her nails done for the first day of school. I am always getting cool acrylics, and she wants to do the same. I want to let her do it, but her dad will not let it happen because he thinks it is too grown for her. But she really, really wants to do it. Should I take her behind his back? First off, I understand it can be frustrating co-parenting sometimes. Do not ever, please, do not take your kid to do something behind the other parent's back. Because honestly, all it does is set a precedent that your kid does not have to listen to the other parent when they're being dumb about something. As someone who has very shitty nails, and I mean, like, I cannot grow my nails out, my nails bend, like, I have bent my nails, like, where they grow out at, like, past my, like, the tip of my finger, I bent them backwards, just reaching for stuff. I can tear them doing laundry. Like, I won't say I break them, like, they tear. Like, my nails are very weak. I think 10 is maybe a little too early to start getting acrylics done, because that's really harsh on your nails. The chemicals is really harsh. She may be old enough to sit still there for that long to have it done, but that's also really harsh on her nails. If you want to take her and have, like, just to go get them painted, like, that would be fine. But a full set, like, I'm talking full acrylics, like, all the chemicals, all the filing, all the grinding down, I think I'm with the dad on this one. I think she's a little bit too young for this. And I think some moms, not all, some moms and some dads have this nasty habit of trying to let their kids act older than they really are. And I'm not saying that it's anybody's fault, but I feel like this also leads to children getting themselves into situations that if they weren't allowed to act older than they are, they wouldn't get into these type of situations. I'm not going to say anything else on it. I think if you know, you know. But I'm not saying, like, if you take your 10-year-old out to go get acrylics, you know, done every other week or every other month, that you're a bad parent. But I'm saying that if... Because the birth of the question here is whether or not dad's wrong, she's right, and that she should just take their daughter to go do it behind his back. Don't. Please don't. It sets a bad precedent for either parent. You would be pissed off to fucking hell if he did it to you. If there was something you did not want her to do, and he thought it was okay, and didn't give a shit about what you said, and took her behind your back to do it anyway, you'd be pissed and hurt as hell. Do not do the same thing to him just because he is a dad. And I'm saying that because that seems to be the precedent for a lot of these co-parenting relationships, is, well, I'm mom, and you're just a dad. No, he's still the dad, not just a dad. If he's active in his life, if he pays his child support like he's supposed to, if there's child support between you two, like, and if it's not like a split even 50-50 co-parenting where neither owes the other child support, if he has just as many rights as you, all that, if he is active in her life, if he does his best, do not go behind his back, because it just tells her, like, yeah, well, your dad's stupid, so we can do whatever we want because we're girls and I'm your mom, so what I say goes. No, you're both the parent. What both of you say goes. You have to sit down and at least talk to one another. Yes, I understand that sucks when you're not with that person, but you still have to sit down, talk to them, and be like, listen, daughter wants this, what can we do to supplement, or, you know, like, maybe give her something that's close to it that will, like, kind of show her that she's been good and gets kind of a reward without actually doing, like, something that can actually damage her nails. It's just a thought. Alright. Should my ex have to help with school supplies? Needing some major advice. I have 2 kids with my ex, and he only pays $300 a month in child support, which is fine. I have my own job and get things taken care of myself. But I am needing help buying them school clothes and supplies as my hours were cut at work. I texted him to ask if he could help, or to help out, and his new baby mama texted me back stating, this is why I get child support and I need to plan better because I am not getting any more money from him and I am livid. Is it just me, or is this something he should be helping with and should not have an opinion on? So, looking at this from a legal standpoint, if it's not in your co-parenting contract that with extra expenses throughout the year, like school, Christmas, all that kind of stuff, if it's not in there that the parent paying child support has to help out with extra expenses like that, you're kind of just yelling at a wall at this point. I would look into other resources in your area that might help out with this, since dad's obviously a little preoccupied with another baby mama. But yes, in addition to this is kind of why he pays child support. It's not just to, like, give you money every month because you have primary custody of the kids, but it's, you know, to try and make the households even is what it's supposed to do. That's not how it always works out. I have seen this firsthand. That's not how it always works out. But that is what it's meant to do. It's meant in good faith that if something happens and the other parent falls on hard times, the other parent will step up if they can. I don't know if this is just $300 a month, if both of your kids are theirs. Yeah, okay, I have 2 kids with my ex. Okay, yeah. Obviously you guys make close enough to the same amount of money. Usually, it seems that that's why it's... And I mean, for some people, like, $150 a kid a month is a lot. I've definitely been there. So, for me, I would look into other things that you can do to kind of help with that. Like, I would look into like food banks. I know a lot of people think food banks, they just think food, but they can also do other things. They can help with that time of year with school supplies and kind of other things, or maybe go to food banks, supplement some of like what you usually spend on food, get it from a food bank, and then you can get like some school supplies and stuff like that. But in the end, it will kind of boil down to what the dad chooses to do, unfortunately, because it's like, it's not like you can take him to court and be like, he's not giving me the $50 I need to finish getting my kids' school supplies. They're just going to look at you and be kind of like it's shitty, but there's nothing we can do. Like, you can't take him to court and order him to pay for school supplies every year. Unfortunately, it's just it would kind of be a waste of everybody's time and money because you have to pay for an attorney to go. So, it's shitty. The new baby mama definitely should not have put her nose in y'all's business, but unfortunately, you're kind of between a rock and a hard place on this. My stepkid's mom tells her kids not to eat my cooking. What can I do? Tell that bitch to start sending food with them. Be like, you don't want them to eat the cooking here? Then you better start sending them some fucking freezable shit that I can just throw in the microwave for them. My stepkid's mom tells her kids not to eat my cooking because it's greasy, but then she sends them money to eat Wendy's and they'll eat it in front of my 4 other kids. So it makes them not want to eat my cooking now and expects me to pull money out of the sky to afford fast food every day. My husband doesn't see an issue with it. Plus, he's like legitimately scared of the kids' mom too. It got to the point that she tells her daughter to tell me I'm not cleaning right or I have no rules here. See, she basically tells me through her 11-year-old I'm a shitty mom and that I don't want my 4 kids brought up around this behavior. I've been with him 5 years, never met the lady once. Give it like 3 years ago, I would have been like, how can you have never met like the mom of your boyfriend's children? Like, once you guys are like serious and everything like that. But I've actually known somebody in real life who has never actually met her husband's baby mama. And I just, like, to me, I think that's bizarre. Like, as a mom, I could not imagine not meeting somebody that was going to be around and influencing my child. So to me, it mostly just kind of sounds like out of spite. Like, I'm pissy that you have my husband and I don't. It definitely sounds like she has some sort of leverage over your husband as well, which that does suck because that means he can't probably be a dad that he wants to be for his kids because he's terrified that if he puts down ground rules that mom wouldn't agree with, I say that mom wouldn't agree with, but I mean, like, that could mean, like, you know, hey, like, stop being a shitty fucking person and stop bad-mouthing other people. You could try to enforce that, and mom be like, you can't tell my babies what to do. Like, they're just very vocal children, and they have opinions. You can have an opinion, just don't be a shitty person about it, for one. So first off, I feel really bad for the children in this situation, because that just sucks ass. It sucks ass. It's unfair to the kids that their mom and their dad just fight and cannot agree, and dad can't be the dad that he deserves to be. I would flat out tell my husband what he feeds his children, since you are not allowed, I use air quotation marks around that, to feed his children your food, then that's between him. Then when they're over with him, he's just kind of on his own then. I would sit down and tell your kids, however, that mama ain't got no everyday fast food money. Their mama is the one supporting it. So if they want fast food money, they can go ask their mama, since, you know, she wants to cause a problem in your household. Or you can just flat out say, like, either the kids eat here or they don't fucking eat anything at all, because it's kind of ridiculous to have somebody else's household rules forced upon yours. It's really shitty. It sucks. I have also been in that situation, and I will never fucking do it again. So, yeah, it's kind of... You're kind of up shit creek with no paddles, but I hope it gets better for one, especially for the kids' point of view. And honestly, I would just sit down and also kind of tell your kids, like, eating fast food every day sounds amazing, but it sucks ass. And it's not that great. Alright. My 12-year-old still wets the bed. Advice. Hi. Looking for advice on bedwetting. My son is 12 years old and still constantly wets the bed every night. We used to wake him up to go to the toilet, but there is no consistency. He can be dry at 3 a.m. one night, then wet at 11 p.m. We literally have tried everything. Alarms, mats, chiropractor, medication, specialists, everything, but nothing is happening. Hoping he may just grow out of it. Right now we have stopped waking him up as I can't continuously be having broken sleep. He sorts himself out throughout the night and puts his washing in the laundry every day, then remakes his bed at night. We never get mad at him, but the washing every day is also frustrating. Any ideas? So I know you talk about medication. Honestly, as weird as it sounds, get him pull-ups. Like, he's 12 years old. He's old enough to understand that it's not him. Pull-ups are a great thing. Full transparency, I actually had to wear them up until I was around the same age, but that was because when I was born with a underdeveloped bladder, so the muscles in my bladder were not as strong as they're supposed to be, so pretty much if I had to go to the bathroom, like, I had to go, like, right there, or I was gonna wet my pants, because I didn't have the muscles to hold on. So, for me, back then, the doctor's idea of, like, let's strengthen those muscles is, hey, drink a lot of water, and then when you go to the bathroom, hold it for as long as you can, like, while you're sitting on the toilet, and then go. For the longest time, I didn't understand, like, how to do that, because my muscles just were not there. So it's, like, it was a very difficult thing to learn, like, because it's, like, how do you learn how to use a muscle that you don't really have, you know? So, I think that was a big thing, is learning how to do that. And it was weird, because it's like, I feel like it didn't mess with my, like, if there are a lot of parents out there that are like, don't ever use pull-ups because it confuses them. When they're 12 years old, I think they're old enough to understand the difference. And this would save you on washing, it would save your water bill a little bit. You know, like, I'm sure, like, doing laundry every single day for bedding is going to be more expensive than buying a pack of pull-ups that'll last you a month. And the best part is that if he does manage to be dry throughout the night, he can either A, still throw the pull-up away, or it can be reused for the next night. That's kind of what we did with my son, was when we potty trained him, we just gave him pull-ups at night, mostly because I had just bought him pull-ups, and I didn't want to just, like, stop using them, even though he'd been remaining dry for, like, way before that. We just used the pull-up, as long as it was, like, completely bone dry, for as many nights as we could until it was just falling apart. And then it just got to the point where this is absolutely pointless and ridiculous. Like, he hasn't had an accident in 2 months. We might as well just throw them all out. Which was a great feeling, because it's great to not have to buy pull-ups. But I feel like that's an idea. Again, it's completely up to them if they were to take that idea. But I feel like buying a pack of pull-ups to last you a month would be way cheaper than doing laundry every single day. I would definitely get him looked at by a professional, not just your pediatric. I know for some people that's really hard to do, and it's not feasible, but if you can, please get your son looked at. There might be something wrong with his bladder. It might be some sort of medical thing that the pediatrician just hasn't thought of or looked at yet. It's just an idea, just a thought, but it's probably something that should happen. And I'm proud, as annoyed as you are, I'm very proud that you're not blaming your son. My spouse refuses to help change diapers. Advice? Throw the whole man out. Throw the whole man out. My spouse and I just had our first, and he refuses to help me with diaper changes. Said it grosses him out too much, and he shouldn't have to do it at all when I am capable. Is this a normal thing with new dads? it's a normal thing with shitty dads. Come on, you made that child. Help fucking change it. Like, seriously. Like, how it's... Oh, it grosses me out. Oh, tough fucking shit. It grosses me out too, but I still do it. Like, how does he expect to be an active father? Like, let's say you have to go somewhere and you can't take baby and he has to watch it and it's for more than like an hour or two. Is that child just supposed to sit in their filth and get a really bad diaper rash because it grosses you out to change their diaper? No. That's how you get fucking CPS called on you. Like, come on. Be a fucking big boy, put on your big boy pants, and change the fucking diaper. Or you better start being hella fucking active on getting that kid potty trained before the age of 2. Or by 2, because that's just absolutely ridiculous. That's a shitty fucking excuse. It grosses me out. Just throwing up gross you out? Because eventually, I can tell you one thing, that kid's gonna throw up at some fucking point. You're gonna have to get over it. You're gonna have to get over being grossed out, because that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse, and if you think it is, you're a fucking idiot. And that's my unpopular opinion on that. Was I wrong to allow my daughter to shave her head? I can't really see any reason why, unless it was, like, out of spite or vindictive. My family is throwing a huge fit because I allowed my 9-year-old daughter to shave her entire head. Was I wrong for doing this? She begged me and now loves it, or now in love with how bald she is, but my family does not approve, and now she is mad is now mad at me. I think all it comes down to is your daughter mad at you? No. She loves it. Does she hate it? No. You've already said she loves it. Fuck everybody else. Around that age, I think that when it comes to not permanent things, coloring, cutting, shaving your hair falls under that thing. It'll grow back, people. Like, maybe your family doesn't realize that, but hair grows back. I know, fucking crazy. Hair grows back. It'll grow back. Let her love it. Let her, I think as long as you sat her down and made sure that she understood that if she loves it, she's just kind of fucked. Or if she hates it, she's just kind of fucked. Like, you know, she's going to have to go through, if she decides to grow it back out, she's going to have to go through that weird grow out stage. It might take like a year or 2 before her hair gets like long enough to be put up. Or she's just going to have to keep shaving it. I think as long as you went through and explained to her kind of everything about like what involves having to deal with the repercussions of shaving your head and then realizing like, fuck, I want to grow it back out now. I don't think, as long as she understands or says she understands, then that's all that matters. Fuck everybody else. If your kid wants to shave their head, let them shave their head. What is the point? It's just fucking hair. She can grow it back if she wants to. It's not like she's fucking like, oh, once it's gone, it's gone. It's not how it works. It's not a kidney. It's, you know, it's fucking hair. Grow it out all the time. I lose hair. I lose more hair than probably any normal person should on a daily basis. And guess what? I'm still fucking fine. I have shaved the side of my head. It is now lovely grown out enough to the point where unless you really look, you can't tell. So, honestly, I think that your family is just being controlling and your daughter is going to be a very bold and out there person, and they just aren't prepared for how fabulous and amazing she is going to be. My friend is pregnant and refuses to go to the doctor. Advice. Well, I guess it kind of depends. Like, are they just stupid or are they broke? Because only one's a valid reason. My friend got her kids taken away a year ago and hasn't even tried to get them back. They are currently living with her mother and just texted me and told me she's pregnant again and doesn't want to go to the doctor or tell anyone because she doesn't want this child taken away either. I don't even know what to do with this situation. I have tried convincing her that she needs to go to the doctor, but she won't go. What do I do? For one, you can call CPS. Let them know, because that is a thing I have learned, is that if you get your children taken away via CPS or the government, and then you go back to the doctor, and you are in a system after that for a certain amount of time. And if you go back and to an OBGYN and start getting prenatal care, CPS will get back involved, because chances are the reason you got your kids taken away is for a very good reason. And yeah, once that baby is born, I think you have like, while you're in the hospital, but other than that, that baby will be taken away as well. It sounds like the only reason this mom does not want to go to the doctor is because she knows this. And she knows that this one will also be taken away from her. Anybody that has actually been in this type of situation, please feel free to speak up, leave a comment, something. If you want to write in and have me read it out, your experience. But as far as I know, there is a certain amount of time from when your kids are taken, that if you get pregnant again and have another baby, you are still on a roster that will involve you having that child taken as well. I think it's 5 years. I'm not 100% sure on that. That may just be where I live. Or it just may be a little bullshit, because that's what somebody who's been through that has told me. But I, for one, would definitely call CPS. She needs to go to the doctor. That baby needs prenatal care if she plans on keeping it and having it be well. Alright, this one is a little bit longer, but we will see where this goes. It might be our last one for this episode. My mom treats me differently than my brothers. Advice. I'm going to start off by saying I did save this one for personal reasons, not because it's me or because it's because it's somebody I know, but it's because for anybody who knows me personally, they know that I grew up in this type of situation. I was brought up by my grandmother along with my brother, and my brother is 4 years younger than me. And we were treated very differently growing up. Not because of our age difference, but because he's a boy and I'm a girl. So yeah, so this is I haven't, again, as usual, I haven't read the whole story. I don't know the situation, but I did save this question because I feel like I can really give some insight to this. Should I be offended? I am the only girl to 3 brothers. Should I be offended that I am the only girl to 3 brothers, and I'm convinced my mom treats them better than me, so I have 7 children. Me and my spouse are still together. We are a blended family. I came into the relationship with children from a previous marriage. So our 2-year-old, who is our 6th child, has Down syndrome. He's a cardiac baby, and he also has a G-tube and some hearing loss in his left ear now. Today, I went to the eye doctor, and they said his prescription had changed from the glasses we bought in December, and that we needed to buy new glasses, and the total for glasses was $370. Well, I put $50 down today, so that left a balance of $320. I mentioned to my mom that I was going to put $20 more down for his glasses, and that I was going to do a mass family text message to my family members that I'm close with, asking for $10 donations towards his glasses. Kind of like a GoFundMe, just because right now we really do not have the funds, and she decided to talk negative about that to me. She went as far as saying that we need to do better and that we need to make more money. But, sorry, it's so bizarre to me that there are people out there that it's like, what do you mean you're having issues paying for something? Like, why don't you just go make more money? Like, bitch, do you think that if I couldn't, like, if I could, I wouldn't be doing that right now? Like, don't you think I would much rather do that than just ask other people for money? Like, that's so bizarre to me that that's, like, some people's actual answer is, like, oh, like, you're having problems paying for something? Why don't you just go make more money? Like, alright, bitch, I'll get right on that. I lost my spot. This is a really long one, so. Oh, okay. that we need to do better and that we need to make more money. But what I think she fails to realize is if I get no child support, or is that I get no child support from my ex for the children, me and my partner are doing it all. And children are expensive. Every time we take my 2-year-old to a doctor's appointment is $10 parking fee. Oh, God, that sucks. And gas is not cheap at the moment. We just did back to school for the 5 older kids, and that was expensive. And I felt she was being really insensitive and tried to act like I would be embarrassing her, asking our family members for donations, when I can recall other family members have done this, and I have given money when they have asked. Should I be offended, and should I say something to her? Okay, first off, I feel like the opening question had nothing to do with the rest of it. Personally, I expected this to be a little bit more something that I could relate to. And I don't feel like the birth of their question had nothing to do with that. Like, I don't feel like you're being made to be singled out because you're the only girl and 3 brothers. I feel like you're being made to be singled out because you have 7 fucking kids, for one. And I understand that. It's not like that sounds like a really large number. And to be fair, it is a really large number. Especially when you cannot afford them. I know when it comes to some people's religion or other factors, being on birth control, being proactive about not getting pregnant isn't feasible. Like, there are people that are very much into the religion, and any type of contraceptive is not okay to them. Like, I even think pulling out isn't okay for them to do. Condoms, birth control, the pill, the patch, anything is not okay to do in those kind of situations for them. But I also understand that children are a blessing, and it's not like you purposely, like, continued getting pregnant until it's like you had a child that had medical needs that need extra help. I don't feel like you're being singled out, or at least nothing that you alluded to in your question made me feel like you're being singled out because you're the only girl of 3 brothers. I feel like it's just your mom's like, well, I feel like your mom is taking the stance of, well, you are the one that chose to have this many kids. You're the one that chose to get with a guy that had so many kids and make this big blended family, like, and then continue to have more kids. Like, this is kind of your own fucking fault. I feel like that's the kind of stance mom is taking on this. I don't feel like it has anything to do with your gender. I hate to say it. Yeah, I think that part of me is a little disappointed because I expected to have more of an insight to this. But I feel bad for you. I feel bad that you are in this situation, and it sucks ass that you're in this situation. Being in a situation that you cannot control sucks regardless. Being in a situation where you are getting no support from your mom sucks ass. I've been in this situation before. I have been in the whole, like, oh, like, well, if you need me, like, I'm right here. But then when you actually need that person, that parent, they're not there. And it's like asking them for help is the biggest, most inconvenience to them it could ever be, ever. So, I hope your money situation gets better. I say, maybe it's out of spite, maybe it's out of pettiness. Send the mass text anyway, if you haven't already. Send the mass text. See what you can do. Most of the time, family members are willing to help out in these type of situations. I hope it gets better. Just tell your mom, like, if you're not going to be supportive and help out, then don't talk to me right now. But, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed I didn't have a better insight to this. But I think that that's going to be the end of this episode. So, if I can switch over. Thank you to everyone for listening today. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. If you know somebody who likes my content, feel free to send me their way and a share. If you would like to send me a message with your own story, rant, question, unpopular opinion, or if you want me to tell others how you fucked up today, or any day, send me a message via any of my social media found in the description. Just look for my cute little avatar you see on whatever app you're listening on. Please, give a rating if you enjoyed what you heard today. I hear that they help out tremendously. And as always, I will catch y'all next time. Bye! And for those watching now and after the fact on YouTube, I will see you guys all next time. I'm probably going to try and push out the 2 more that I need. I need a Whatever Wednesday, which is probably going to be an Am I the Asshole, like I mentioned. And then our last Fright Day episode that will be during my wedding vacation. But yeah, so I will see you guys next time. All right, bye! Once I back out of stuff. Bye.